Hi and welcome back! Today we're doing a fun eye look and we're jumping right in. Starting with City Beauty's Lid Lifting Treatment. This is supposed to lift and firm the appearance of saggy eyelids while instantly softening the look of fine lines and wrinkles. And I'm still trying to make up my mind if I like this. The palette that I'm using today is by Real Her. It is called Embrace Yourself, starting with the lightest color, which is kind of like a peachy nude. I bought this palette a few weeks back and I was really not expecting much out of it, and to my surprise, it is a fantastic palette. Let me grab some eyeshadow and then I'm going to tell you more about this. The color I'm grabbing right there is called Uplift, and I'm going to use a method that I kind of call the clown method. And that's where you just kind of make a straight streak right down the middle of your eye. Once that's on, I'm going to grab a darker color. This one's called Accepting, and that's going to go on the outside. So back to my story about the eyeshadow. I was actually thinking that I was spending way too much on a really chintzy palette. Why I would buy a chintzy palette, don't ask. But what I found is that it has really brilliant colors. It blends beautifully. It's crease resistant, fade resistant, buildable, long wearing. And of course they have a bunch of other palettes other than this one as well. I'm probably going to order them all. And this one is definitely considered a warm color palette. And this is going to work for most people that have green eyes, brown eyes, and blue eyes. And all I'm doing is going from the darkest color on the outside of my eye to the lightest color on the inner. Then we're just going to tap to blend those lines in between the colors. And I'm not sure why, but I picked up this Candie Couture by Margarette 10-piece brush set at Walmart the other day. All I can say is it looked pretty and I thought I should have it. But right off the bat, there's that one little hair that's sticking out, and so that's going to drive me crazy. And now for the world's fastest blending job. I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to show you how I did it on the other eye. But first, I'm going to tap a little bit of color right there because I missed a spot. Now with a much smaller blending brush that is clean, I'm going to very gently and softly begin to blend. Now let me be clear, I'm not blending all of that makeup that I packed on that eye. I'm just blending the edge. And I won't be doing any of those long windshield wiper strokes. When you have jiggly wiggly lids, that's not going to work. So I'm going to use little tiny windshield wiper strokes. Then after I blend for a minute, I'm going to clean my brush. And what works best for me is to spray a little setting spray on a paper towel and then clean it and dry it off completely. Then go back to blending using my little tiny windshield wiper strokes. And I'm actually using little circular strokes as well. Trying to avoid where I put the shimmer because I don't want to spread that all over the place. And if you have trouble with blending, just keep going and going and going. Every time you blend for a minute, clean your brush, then repeat the process, continue blending until you've blended it out and it looks really smooth. My lids are crepey and textured, and if I can blend something out, you can blend something out. Then we're going to use a little bit of concealer on a brush to softly sort of clean this up. I almost never go straight to my face with a concealer brush. Instead, I'd rather put it on the back of my hand and then apply it to a small, soft eyeshadow brush. It looks so much more beautiful that way. It's very soft. Very little of it gets used, and so I have very little chance of anything creasing up because I'm not about that mess. If you do have an issue with that, just spray your blending brush with a little bit of setting spray. Get it just a little bit damp, then dip it into your concealer and then apply it to your face. I've got many videos where I show you how to do this. Now, if you have an overhanging or a hooded eye like I do, when you get up there to the corner, you can both clean up and do a little overlapping on your eyeshadow and just pat it out and blend it together. And it softens it up, and that way you don't have those harsh lines. Billion Dollar Beauty sent me over this underbrow highlighter. So let's give this a try. For most brow shapes, you're going to want to put it on the underside of the brow arch. And then just give it a little blend. And that highlights the brow bone. Or in my case, if you can't really see the brow bone, it sort of gives you a faux brow bone. Plus it lifts the brow and opens up the eyes. Most of the time I do this with concealer, but it's really fun to do with highlighter because it actually catches the light and just gives you that extra little pizzazz. And of course, I couldn't just use it for one thing. I had to try it on my eyelids as well, just to add a little lighter shimmer and a little pop on my eyes. My head is kind of spinning, and I can't remember if I've already told you about this beautiful Sigma eyeliner. This is really cool. You can put it on, and then it's really creamy, but once it sets, it doesn't budge, which makes it perfect. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the look that I showed just a minute ago. I really could just put mascara on this and it'd be a beautiful eye look. But I wanted to take it up a notch a little bit. And so that's what we're going to do. The important thing here is after you get the eyeliner on there, no matter what kind you're using, you want to use a little smudger brush and blend this so that it looks nice and smooth. And of course, this would be a great way to get a beautiful grunge look. You could just keep blending it out. Now, the fun thing about this eyeliner is I've just done another video where I show the opposite of what I'm doing today. Here, I'm actually putting this over top of the eyeshadow, but you can actually put this underneath the eyeshadow as a base as well if you wanted a really deep, rich color or you wanted to get a serious dramatic look. But I'm going to show you today how, if you change your mind at the last minute, you can totally drama this sucker up. And we're back to blending. Blend, blend, blend. Honestly, I think the three most important things about makeup is blending, placement of products, and getting the right dang colors. If you can master those three things, I think everything else is just sort of, it doesn't even matter. Like your mascara doesn't have to be perfect, your eyebrows don't have to be perfect. And makeup is not about perfection anyway. I know that it's easy to get caught up in that, but it's really not about perfection. It's more about self-expression and bringing that interior person to the exterior. And I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts on the subject. Here, we're just applying a little bit of that eyeliner directly to the brush and then tapping the color over our eyeshadow. And you should be able to do this with most creamy type eye pencils. Just drag your smudger brush over the tip a couple of times and then begin tapping and blending it in. Of course, if you live in a really warm climate, after you're done, you can spray this all down with setting spray to hold it in place all day, adding some finishing touches, and then we are finished. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today, friend. I really appreciate you being here. I hope you know how absolutely beautiful you are inside and out. Love and hugs to all of you. See you later.